What's up, everybody? Sed here, and today I want to talk about my journey to being top 10, what my current rank is, how much I've progressed so far since last week, and all of that fun stuff. So, without further ado, I guess it's time to load up the game. Since last week, I have made my way up to top 60, and oh my god, has it been a journey. I can remember being a new player and being like, man, I cannot wait to be top 100, and man, it has been a lot of work, and then maxing, and RNG, of course. You know, RNG does play a factor, and it has just been a lot of fun, and this is just the reason why this is one of my favorite games is because a lot of other games you have to pay, like you have to pay some money, especially if you want to get to the tops. And with like $33 of money spent into it, I mean, of course I spent a bit more now, you know, but I'm up to like VIP 5, but just with like $33, you know, that was just all for convenience. You know, I was just to get to VIP 4, to get the premium passes. Of course, I spent a little bit more now because I wanted to get some of the integrated slots, which I'll cover a little bit earlier. But yeah, this is one of those games where you really don't have to spend real money. I mean, you can if you want to, but you can make it far without anything, you know, anything crazy. So this has just been a super fun journey, and I honestly cannot wait to see where I'm at, you know, in like a month or so, because my goal honestly is top 5. Even though I'm top 60 right now, I am definitely going for top 5 and then eventually number 1. But RNG has yet to bless me. RNG has just been super rip. So let me know down in the comments, for those of you who do play this game, how has RNG been treating you? So far for me, it's just been rip after rip. I'm starting to call these boxes meme boxes, just a box of memes, because it's just I've been so unlucky. So on a different side of news, I have been able to finally complete Fire Rift 13 and tier dungeon 17 for straight 2 weeks, and unfortunately I still don't have 1500, and I have been trying so hard to get the fire raid set, well, the fire raid offense, both shield and mage, but I have been super unlucky. I'm on like my 12th shield and they've all been bad. I'm not even trying to min-max my shield. I just want a non-bad shield. So hopefully RNG blesses me before this whole fire raid thing goes away. So I don't know how many people know about this. I mean, probably 99% of the people do. But for those who don't feel bad, because it took me a while to figure this out too, but there is such a thing called integrated slots, and oh my god, is this a game changer. You can set up all of your different sets like Rift, Fire Rift, etc., and then you can also enable the auto feature, so it automatically changes to your build whenever you do the Rift or a chapter or whatever. So if you have not set this up, I would definitely recommend this. Last up, I want to cover such a huge thing. I have been keeping track on these updates. Super excited. I have been super hyped. Every time they released new information on this update, I was extremely excited because multiple things are coming and some quality of life changes. I'm only going to mention a lot of the bigger ones. But this is a huge update. So for those of you who have not read it, I would definitely go check this out on their Facebook, but I will definitely cover all the big ones. So one of the biggest things I'm excited for is the slot enhancement. The slot enhancement is so big. Like, oh my god. And it was funny. I honestly never thought I needed this feature in this game until I read about it, until they said that slot enhancement was going to be a thing. And I'm just like, yes, 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 yes. Like, my body is ready. Like, what the slot enhancement is going to do is, instead of upgrading all the gear, let's say you upgrade your weapon to 1500, but now you got a new weapon. And the thing is, your new weapon is better, the base is better, but your weapon is 1500. You're gonna have to update or upgrade that up to 1500. But let's say you don't have the funds, like the resources, because it costs a ton. And then let's also say you're a free to play player. That's not easy to do, because then you'd have to actually spend real money to then be able to transfer your 1500 over here. But then let's say like 3 days later, you get something better. So it was kind of like you have to be very picky. You had to be really, really picky. And when swapping out your gear for like better gear, you had to make sure it was really, really an upgrade. Like, it was a big upgrade, because to go through all of those resources to, get a new weapon up, or to spend real money to get, to transfer that just to get a better one, but then you just spent real money, and it kind of became a little hassle. But to eliminate all of that, you now upgrade the slots. So if you upgrade your weapon to 1500, that slot is actually upgraded to 1500. So any of the things that you put in that slot will be 1500, which is huge. Because one of the biggest things about this game, which I liked but I wasn't able to fully utilize, is the swapping of the gear. Because there's so much diverse gear in this game, but when you're dealing with the higher end stuff, you need the higher end upgrades. So you can't be like swapping all willy-nilly, like, maybe this one helmet will be better for this tier dungeon for this week, but you don't have the funds because you just blew all your money on your weapon or your shield or your helmet. So you don't got the money to, get this helmet up, and it's unfortunate. But with this new slot upgrade, you can easily swap them out. So like, oh, this helmet is good for this week's tier dungeon. Let's just swap out that helmet because the slots are enhanced. No longer the gear, but it's the slots. So you can freely swap out your helmet, swap out your armor, test new rings. You're not sure if this necklace is good? Well, now you can test it because the slot is upgraded. So this whole slot upgrading thing definitely changes the game. And that's kind of why I'm making this video, because I was going to make a part 2 to my last video, but with this whole slot changes, this actually kind of changes the game quite a bit, because now you can swap out gear to kind of better min-max situations like guild bosses, tier dungeons, and fire rifts, and the different levels of fire rifts, and like there's so much you'll be able to do and try out and test, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So I am going to put the part 2 video off a little bit until I have some testing, until of course other people test, and I talk with other people, read some new information. And so I want to wait on that video, because slots upgrade is going to be huge. So that's awesome. Another really cool thing is they're adding in 7 new mythic rings. Like, that also is going to be a really big game changer, because a lot of these rings, I'm not going to cover all of them because this video is already getting pretty long, but there's a lot of good rings in here that could really change some stuff around. On top of that, it gets better, and this is what I mean. This update is so good, like, it's so big. They're making changes to ranged, like, that is going to be huge. Like, I don't know how big the changes are. I don't know how significant it's going to be, especially compared to melee, because right now melee is kind of top tier, but with all these changes, these new mythic rings, I mean, who knows? Like, who knows what's going to be the new current meta, or if mage or bow is going to be viable or more competitive. So all these things, man, they're really going to be changing a lot of the stuff, and honestly it's for the better. Like, it's all of these changes are for the better, and makes me really excited to see the devs putting so much thought into all of this stuff. Like, all of it, like everybody, like when I first started this game, I wanted to be a mage, but I couldn't. So then when I found out melee was kind of like the way to go, I had to put my mage on the back burner and, you know, upgrade new gear and all this stuff. But with all these changes, who knows, man? You know, and then it's also, like I was saying, it's going to be easier to swap between like mage and melee and all that fun stuff. So that's really exciting, especially with the new mythic rings. And then one last thing I want to cover, which again, like I said, there's a ton of stuff here, is going to be for the more later game people, when you're starting to craft, like, you know, your mythic necklaces, like your low keys, you know, all of that fun stuff. They have a new feature which is just fantastic. It's so let's say like you got an Odin. I'm just throwing this out there. I'm just, you know, so let's say you got an Odin, but then you rolled something way worse. Before, you were stuck with that way worse item. Like, you just went from a good, you know, even though, you know, I'm not saying Odin is good, but just for, you know, just for the theory, but like, you know, you went from this Odin, which was good, to now a far worse one. And you're kind of stuck there, you know, until you got 3 more cubes to then try your luck again. But to make that process a little way better, I was going to say a little bit, but it's way better. You now get to pick. It'll be like, okay, here's your Odin that you have currently, and here is what you could have. So you get to see, like, that one is actually pretty bad. I'm going to stick with my Odin, and you get to choose now, which is so huge. So huge. You're no longer stuck. You can actually choose whether to stay or go to the better one, which is again going to be really big for the new mythic rings, because, you know, being able to choose stay or go, that's going to be amazing, man. So those are some really good stuff. There's a ton more stuff. I mean, if you guys are interested, I will start doing more videos talking about like the patch notes and all that stuff, but I just wanted to briefly cover, for those of you who haven't been keeping tabs on the Facebook and whatnot, to kind of like bring out like the huge points. Like I said, there's a ton, so, you know, I'll link their Facebook in my comments or my description. It will be linked somewhere, so you guys can go and check it out. But on that note, guys, that pretty much covers everything. So if anything happens, you know, like anything big or whatever, I'll definitely make a new video. Or if not, I will see you in the next one.